So I'm just continuing to field more questions here for USMLE. I am asked, how should I be going through the Clinical Mastery Series forms that you mentioned for Step 2? Okay, so I will address this question, important question here. Before I get started, please subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it. Help bring awareness to this channel. Help grow this channel. Share with one of your friends who's prepping for USMLE. Hit the like button. Hit the bell if you want notifications. And find me on Instagram at Mehlman_medical, MEHLMAN_medical. The link is down below. Also join us on Telegram. Recently created a Telegram group. Link is also down below. Now how about I start the actual fucking questions? So how do we go through the Clinical Mastery Series forms that you mentioned for Step 2? Now look, some of you watching this don't even know what the Clinical Mastery Series forms are. The CMS forms, they are the subject-specific NBME forms for Step 2. We don't have such a thing for Step 1, okay? So for Step 1, we just have, at the point of this clip, which is July 2021, we have online forms 25 through 30. They're just random subjects, okay? Just in full-length 200-question NBME forms. However, for the Step 2, we have subject-specific, surgery, internal medicine, family medicine, etc. And they're referred to as the Clinical Mastery Series. These forms need to be integrated as assiduously with the same degree of paramountcy as we go through 25 through 30 for Step 1, okay? So for Step 2, how do we use the Clinical Mastery Series forms? In your final 2 months leading up to the exam, and I've made some other content on this, you need to be doing essentially nothing but memorizing the Clinical Mastery Series forms, okay? So they are 50 questions each, and there's a different number depending on the subject, okay? So for instance, you can find forms 3 through 6 online for pediatrics at the moment. You could find forms 1 and 2 offline, okay? Family medicine only has 3 forms, okay? I believe 2 and 3 are only online right now. You have to find form 1 offline. But the point is, these 50 question subject-specific forms they carry the same degree of importance of getting through this material as getting through forms 6, 7, 8 NBMEs for Step 2, which are soon to go offline, and then you're going to do 9, 10, 11 online starting end of July 2021, okay? So when you go through the Clinical Mastery Series forms, it can be extremely difficult to do 2 forms in one day of the same subject. I recommend generally, for most students, trying to get through 2 forms per day, starting 2 months out from the exam, okay? And you can do a mix of subjects. So rather than doing 2 psych forms in one day, which will drive you ADHD up the fucking wall, you could do 1 psych form and 1 emergency, okay? So you need to memorize the Clinical Mastery Series, the subject-specific forms, screenshot all of your incorrects into a Word document, save as a PDF or PowerPoint, review those questions prior to doing forms 6, 7, 8 offline, and then you're going to do 9, 10, 11 online starting the end of this month, July 2021. Now, the elephant in the room is, for the Clinical Mastery Series, many of you are going to be on rotations while you're studying for the Step 2. So for instance, if you're on your surgery rotation, you can do the subject-specific Clinical Mastery Series forms to improve your shelf scores, okay? So you can go through the Clinical Mastery Series forms throughout your clinical years, okay? And then revisit them in the final couple months. In other words, don't worry that you've already done the forms. More review is only going to increase your score, especially with the importance of the Step 2 increasing when Step 1 goes to pass-fail next year in 2022. Like, if you can do the Clinical Mastery Series forms alongside your rotations, and you could do, for instance, the UWorld questions, that's how you could prepare for a shelf exam. I'll actually make a future clip on that, why not? But you can do the Clinical Mastery Series forms alongside your rotations, and then prior to your Step 2, you can memorize those forms. Many of you sitting in Step 2 are on rotations, okay? You might have graduated med school already, and you just say, how do I do the CMS forms? So it's never cookie cutter, okay? But just recognize in general the importance of getting through that material, all right? Memorize those forms in the final 2 months. Memorize forms 6, 7, 8. The NBME material, the Clinical Mastery Series questions, are the same as the USMLE, okay? And if you're on rotations, just do those questions with UWorld and then revisit the CMS forms prior to your exam, okay? Obviously, a lot we can talk about. It's not the same for every student, okay? So I'm going to continue to make more content. You know the deal. If you like my stuff, subscribe to my channel, and I appreciate your time. That's it.